Governor DeWine, once again, thanks you so much for joining us tonight. You began your briefing today by saying the virus is raging in Ohio. There is no place to hide. Given that and these staggering numbers, why not issue orders? Why not close down parts of the state as you did last spring when the numbers were much lower?
Well, first of all, another close down would be devastating in Ohio. We may eventually have to do that, but more people will be unemployed. We would see a lot more misery. We see the mental health problems spike up. Kids would no longer be able to be in school. So there's just a lot of downsides to doing that. We really have a tool, though. We have tools, and we know a lot more today than we knew in March and April when this thing really was roaring. What we learned is that masks really do work. And, if you don't believe that, look at in schools. The schools are enforcing our mask orders. Kids are wearing masks in schools, and there's very little spread that occurs directly in the classroom. If there's spread, it's some kid brings it in from the family, brings it in from someplace else, or kids are doing something outside of school. But inside school, it appears there's very little spread. So what we really have to see is just, and I know people are tired. I know people are sick of the virus. They're sick of wearing masks. They're sick of all the things that they have had to give up doing. But if they wear masks, and if we avoid these spreader events, we're going to be able to knock this thing down. I mean, what we're really seeing is not this. We're not seeing so much the virus spread in businesses or in schools. Where we're really seeing it is in social occurrences, people watching a football game, a big wedding, a big shower, funerals, people getting together with friends and family, letting their guard down, not wearing a mask because they think, hey, I'm with a friend and that's safe, and not remembering that this virus is insidious and it's sneaky, and many times people have it, they spread it, they don't even know they have it. And
Governor,
so that's why it's spreading.
Let me ask you this. You have said that if a county does go purple, the highest alert level, you still will not issue any orders. There are county executives out there, county councils saying, Governor, I need you to tell me what to do. It would help me if you would do that. Why are you reluctant to go that far?
Well, we're giving them the same information we have, frankly. Look, we have local government can impose more sanctions. They can impose curfews. They can do all kinds of things if they want to do that. They are closest to the people. Let's talk about the schools for a moment. Schools have made decisions. We've allowed them to make decisions. We believe in local control. They've made decisions whether to be open entirely, 5 days a week, whether entirely remote. Some are doing it hybrid, and they've done a very, very good job. But I tell people, we provide this information so you can really understand what's going on. And there's really two things we tell people to look at. Look at how many cases that you've had in the last 2 weeks in your county. And if you're a big county like Cuyahoga County, you can even get those numbers broken down by zip code. And it tells you how much the spread is. Now, spoiler alert here, they're spread everywhere in Cuyahoga County. They're spread everywhere throughout the state of Ohio today. Very unlike what we saw in the spring. Today, we've got spread everywhere. But we've knocked this thing down twice before. We did it in the spring. We had to close things down, but we opened them up. People went back to work. Then we got a spike in June and July, basically driven by people under the age of 30. We put a mask order on. When we put the mask order on, we saw people in the urban areas dramatically increase the number of people wearing masks, got up to 80, 90%. When that happened, cases just started going back down. So this is our third time we got to step up. We got to do it. We got to wear a mask, and we got to avoid these social events, frankly, where we see so much spread.
Governor, I've got 2 minutes left with you. Just very quickly, if a county executive, if a county council would come to you and say, yes, we have all this information, but I really need you to help me out. Tell me what I can do and what I can't do. What's the first thing you're going to say?
Yeah, here's what we're asking them to do. In fact, we're starting this week. We already met with a number of leaders in Cuyahoga County. We're, I think, on to our 7th or 8th county. We're going to continue to do that. What I'm asking them to do, and my best advice is pull together, get all the leaders of the community, get the religious leaders together, get the business leaders, get the labor leaders, pull everybody together and put a team together and message to the people of your county that it's pretty simple what we have to do. And if you will wear a mask, we will get through this. You can still do most of the things you want to do. We said trick or treat. There's no reason not to do trick or treat. You just got to be really careful how you do it. Now, you don't want to do a Halloween party, and some things you're not going to be able to do, but we can get through this. And that's my advice to local government. We're actually meeting with them on Zoom calls, for the last 3 days, and we're going to continue to do that all around the state and say, look, pull together as a community, because the ground game, what you do on the ground, is very, very important.
Final question for you, Governor. President Trump has been very critical of governors who have closed down parts of their state, and you're one of the honorary co-chairs of his re-election committee. Election day is now just 5 days away. How big of a factor does that play in your decision to leave things as they are?
None. None. Absolutely none. Look, my obligation, I have a moral obligation to the people of the state of Ohio to do the best I can, give them the best advice. We know there's a lot of bad things happen when you shut down, but we did. I made that decision early on in the spring, and it worked, and we moved on. But to do it the second time, I think would knock so many small businesses out, so many people out of business, put so many people out of business, out of work, and would increase mental health problems. I'm not saying we won't do it, but I'm saying, look, the people who I'm talking to right now, you have the ability to control this. You have the ability to change the outcome. We can change the future.
Again, you're saying it's still a possibility. You're not saying definitively it will never happen.
Look, I would not say never to anything. Absolutely not. But I'm saying there's a better way. And the better way is for all of us to rally community after community. And I know people are tired. I know they're sick of wearing masks, but we got to do this. And the good news is the vaccine is going to be on the way. I mean, it's going to be a few months, but once it gets here, we're going to get it out. We've already got plans how to get it out as fast as we get it from the company. And, that's how we get our way out of this. But we're going to have a tough winter if this virus continues to spike. And the thing we got to remember is the community spread impacts directly how safe your grandmother is in the nursing home, because it's going to come from the community in there. It will impact directly if you can keep your kids in school, because the community will spread into that school. And the same way at the hospitals. If we don't want our hospitals overflowing with patients like we saw in Italy or like we saw in New York City, then we got to take this community spread down. And we can do it. We have the ability to do it. It's within our hands.
Governor DeWine, once again, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Good to be with you. Thank you.
Good to be with you. Best of luck.